Will you start?
Let's start.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another cooking class with Northgate. I'm your host for this evening. My name is Isabella, and welcome to our holiday class, our holiday tamales class. And we are making tamalitos dulces de moras, or zarzamora, which are blackberry dessert tamales. And we will be ending our class with a rompope martini, or a rompope if you want to call it, which is basically our version of eggnog, which already has liquor in it. And we're gonna mix it up with a vodka and a couple other things, and we're gonna top it off, and that's what we're gonna end our class with. But we are starting with tamales, okay? So these are dessert tamales. So we are, and this will be what we'll be needing. We need 3 pounds of masa preparada from Northgate and I'll show you how I buy it. I buy it already. I had to butcher the plastic bag, but it comes in a bag and you weigh it. They have a scale for you to weigh it. And we're using 3 pounds, and it's already prepared. But since we're making tamales dulces, we're gonna tweak it a bit to make our masa dulce. But technically this masa is already prepared for you to fill it up with whatever you want to fill it up. Sorry. Need to get that going. Okay, so we have 3 pounds of our masa preparada from Northgate. We have in here in a stand-in mixer, or you can use a handheld mixer. I have half a cup of butter softened and 1/4 cup of vegetable shortening or Crisco. Okay, you can also use lard, but since we're doing tamales dulces, we don't need that flavor. Okay, but you can use whatever you want. So we have that here. We're gonna add to our masa 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 can of la lechera, a pinch of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, and that's all going in our batter. But before we start our masa, let's get our flavor for our masa going. Okay, you guys? In here, can you skip the ad so we can keep listening to Christmas music? In here, I have 14 ounces of fresh blackberries. And if you don't find fresh blackberries, but you will, because I found them at Northgate and they were at an amazing price. You can always use frozen, just make sure you thaw them, okay? So in here, I have 14 ounces of blackberries, or zarzamora. And we're gonna get them going in a little pot. I'm gonna start with medium heat in here. We are going to add, we're basically making blackberry jam, as you can say, and that is what we're adding to our masa to give it color and flavor. And in here, I'm adding 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. And what I love about this is that if you don't want to make tamales today or ever, you can also just make this jam and have it at your house. Okay, so I like to incorporate recipes like that in my recipes as well. So you can have that blackberry mermelada and okay. Okay, so we're adding the juice of 1 lemon, and the lemon is gonna help your jam not to your sugar in your jam to not crystallize, and that's what the acid. The acidity, the citric acid does to jam. So we're gonna add the juice of 1 whole lemon in here, just like that. And we're also adding, and you can see I already used half of it because we're only using half the zest of half a navel orange, okay, and they tend to be big. So in here, we're also adding the zest of half a navel orange y una rajita de canela. A small one will do, okay? And you're gonna discard it at the end. You're not gonna blend it or anything, but you are gonna add it since the beginning because that's gonna help infuse the flavors really nice. I'm gonna zest my orange in here. And honestly, the flavor of the of both the lemon and the orange is very subtle, but it adds so much flavor and it helps bring out the flavor in your berries. And honestly, my favorite type of tamales are dessert tamales, tamales dulces. I feel like everybody has a recipe for salados or their favorite one. I actually asked on my Instagram what was everybody's favorite, and I think rajas con queso, rajas was winning actually, and they're also one of my favorites. Rajas con rajas. But everybody has their recipe que le hace la abuelita, everybody has their, so I decided to go with one of my sweet tamales. So I feel like we need more recipes of those. So in here, that already smells like Christmas, you guys. Cinnamon and orange, huele a ponche. So in here, and you don't need any liquid because the fruit is going to drench its own liquid. So in here, you can show them before I mix. So I'm on medium-high heat. You don't need a bigger pot than this. So I'm just gonna help our jam. And as you can see, it's already, the sugar is already starting to melt and it's already bringing out the juices from the blackberry. So no liquid. You can also give it a little mash with your wooden spoon to help it out. Ahí está nuestra rajita de canela. Smells so good already, and it's not even cooked. Okay. So we're gonna bring this to a boil, and we're gonna reduce the heat to simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes until not all of the liquid has evaporated, but most of the liquid has evaporated. And you'll see, there'll definitely be more liquid during our cooking process, and I'll show you. And I already have a prepared jam, so we don't have to wait 25 minutes for you to see the final product, but I do want you to know how to make it. This is also great on top of a cheesecake or pancakes. Oh, we also make crepes at my house, and we top them off with this blackberry jam. So it's very versatile. So if you know how to make this, you can keep it in your fridge and it'll store up to 2 to 3 weeks if it actually lasts in your fridge. You can also add a little bit of chipotle to it. Top it off with some cheese. And you're good to go. So just make sure you don't have to be mixing it all the time, but you do need just to keep an eye on it, because since it has a lot of sugar in it, you don't want it to overboil and crystallize too fast, okay? Over here, I'm gonna leave that until it starts to boil, and then I'm gonna reduce the heat to a simmer, okay? Perfect. So moving on to masa, and please let me know if you guys have any questions. I can pace myself. I'm happy to help out. So in here, I'm going to cream together the 1/4 cup of vegetable shortening and the 1/2 cup of butter, okay? I'm gonna continue to do so. And since it's been so cold, I swear that it took forever for this butter to become room temperature today. I'm gonna cream that together. Remember to use this rubber spatula, and bring down everything that gets stuck on the sides or at the bottom so that it can be incorporated evenly. You don't want to be left over with, make your masa and have leftovers at the sides. You want everything to be nicely incorporated. Keep going. And we're going to cream that until it's nice and smooth and it doesn't have any lumps. continue to move my jam. It's starting to bubble, so that's a good sign. Really good. And before we continue with more steps, I do want to mention that these corn husks have been soaking in warm or hot water for about a day. And these are the ones that we're going to be using for tamales if you want them to be pliable, okay? You want them to be nice and pliable, just like this. So they're dried, but they're hydrated again. They're going to be nice and pliable so you can bend them and make your tamales, okay? And I also have these here to tie our tamales. Sometimes tamales dulces can be tied kind of like a candy wrapper, or I'll show you a couple of ways of how to fold them. But I just wanted to mention that you'll be needing corn husks that are dry, a large bag from Northgate. They sell them dry, but you can hydrate them to become pliable again in hot water. And here I have my tamalera or vaporera, which is actually hot. Which is a steamer, okay? And I have that. It's not on, but it was on. But you'll need a steamer to make your tamales. And they also sell them at Northgate, and I also use this olla for my pozole on Christmas. And yes, I use it this big because we feed a lot of people here. So you can find it at Northgate, and it comes with a little like steam lid, not lid, attachment. That makes sense. Oh, that's also good. Okay. So let's continue with our masa. I'll be adding my 3 pounds of masa preparada in here. And I have a paddle attachment on my wrist, okay, you guys? Okay. Just gonna incorporate this first before I add my other ingredients. I'm gonna get that nice and incorporated. I'm gonna push down the masa from the sides. More little. So what are your favorite guys' tamales? What is your favorite tamal? Look, it's starting to bubble, so we're gonna lower the heat.
My favorite tamal is de puerco, pero con verduras.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, my grandma used to make them, and that's how my mom makes them. Les pone mucho mole. Luego, el puerco, it's like shredded, and she puts zanahoria, papitas, all that. Y luego una tirita delgadita de chile jalapeño.
Ooh, that sounds really good because I've always tried them como en salsa verde o salsa roja. Me gustan de lote. Ah, de lote, yeah. Corn tamales are also one of my favorites.
Have you tried corn con espinaca y queso?
No, that sounds good. Very good.
Let me tell you, ladies, that's the easiest recipe. So my mom, la masa preparada, le agregas shredded like Monterey Jack cheese. And then the spinach, you cut it up very finely. y luego el elote blanco, and you mix it all up, and then you make your tamales con una salsa roja, guys. They're amazing.
That sounds so good. So
We can meet each other.
that one.
Yes. Tamales season is here.
Yes, it is.
But I'm excited about these because there's not a real dulce one que digas, wow. I've had, last year I had uno de cajeta that was really good, but I'm excited about these.
Maybe you can show them how the jam is looking so they can see all the liquid that the berries actually. So we started off on the chunkier side and look at all the liquid. So you're gonna continue to cook until you reduce that liquid. Not all of it, like I mentioned, because it will harden once it's cooled. But look at todo lo que suelta, todo el jugo que suelta las moras and that sugar. Okay, you guys, it almost looks like Jamaica, a little bit. Okay, so continuing with our masa, I'm going to add my 1 cup of brown sugar into my masa. I'm going to add 1 can of la lechera. You know, ama la lechera. You ama la lechera. Grab a spoon to grab all that extra sweetness. And we'll add that pinch of cinnamon. Okay. I'll wait a little bit for that baking powder. Just want to get these ingredients that are a little bit more on the liquidy side. Continue by wiping down the sides. It will also change the color of your masa. Preparada. Becomes a little bit of like a brownish color. Before we add our blackberry jam. And I will talk a little bit about the color of these tamales, okay? Since we're not using food coloring, you could add a couple of drops of food coloring if you want, but I'm keeping it on the natural side. But I'll talk about that right now. So here I have my masa going. I'm gonna add a little pinch of salt. Just a little pinch because we added sweetness and you want that balance. And now I'm gonna add my tablespoon of baking powder. Go. Okay, and I will try my masa a bit, even if it's a little raw, but I do want to try it for flavor. It has to be sweet enough and good enough on its own before adding the blackberry in order for your masa to be perfect, okay? So if this is kind of like, más o menos, then you need to keep adding something. But this is perfect for adding our blackberry. And maybe you can show them the color. And I have more of the nuts. So you can see that's a little bit more of a brown color compared to our masa. Está un poquito más clarita because we have the brown sugar, we have all the other stuff going on. Okay. For our blackberry jam, if you're cooking along, it's still cooking. You reduce the heat to simmer. You still want that liquid to evaporate. And what I do is when this jam is done, I add my immersion blender, or I added my food processor in my blender, and I blend it until smooth. And you will have seeds, and if you're picky about the seeds, you can always strain it. You can always strain it. Honestly, they're kind of hard to strain because they're so tiny and they don't bother me. So I don't strain it. I just blend it really well. Okay, I discarded the cinnamon stick. So this will become this, you guys. Your jam, okay? Your blackberry jam. Mermelada de moras. I'm going to continue to cook it. Okay. And I'm going to add, I'm not going to add all of it. I'm going to leave a bit behind in order to garnish our tamales, okay? You can say I'm left over with about like half, like 3/4 cup of jam. And now we're gonna mix. And add a little more just for color. So we'll have a lot left over for garnish. And I'm matching the tamales too, the sweater. And the color. The color is very artisanal and very natural, okay? So it's not the most beautiful color, like I mentioned. Puedes agregarle unas gotitas de food coloring, el rojo. I honestly like it the way it is, but if you want to make it a little bit more pleasing to the eye, they will get darker when you cook them. Esta es nuestra masa de tamalitos de moras. Good. Let's get our tamalera going, our vaporera. I'll get rid of this guy. So it's easier. Okay, that's my masa. This guy's good to go. I'm gonna add my. So in here, and it's hot. Okay. So in here I have, before I turn it on, let's show them my tamal situation. There might be a bit of steam. There will be warning. So this is a vaporera. This is my steamer. And what I have going on here is I have a wet rag that you need. Just wet it with regular water from the sink. I have a hojas de tamal that I put at the bottom of my vaporera. I have some tamalitos already, but I have at the bottom of my tamalera, you line it, and there's a line that you fill the pot to. So you fill it up with water. You can add the coin trick if you don't want to do coins. A coin, you can do a spoon. So you can add something that's metal that you're not attached to the bottom. And if you hear it clacking, it means you're out of water. So basically, if you don't hear it clacking, you're good to go. Just fill it up to this line, and maybe you can see the line. So this is the line. And then you place your steamer lid, and then you make like a little bed of hojas de tamal, hojas de corn husk, de elote. And then you place your tamales on top, and you cover them with more corn husk, and then cover. Be careful because steam is hot. So I like to use some tongs, but what you want to do, and what the wet rag helps the moisture and continue to keep make steam. Okay. I'm gonna close it up. This is for that. I'm gonna turn it. I'm gonna turn it on low, and then we're gonna start with our tamal assembly. Let's do it, you guys. Okay, so I have my masa, and I know why Northgate has tamales year round, which is the good thing. But when I always, every time I make tamales, I'm like, I know why they only do it once a year, because it's a labor of love. It's tedious, but it's delicious. And I feel like it's even more special because it reminds us of the holidays or your grandmother's recipe, or how I remember my great grandmother, mi tita, she would gather all of us and we would all make tamales, but she would make like dozens and dozens and gift them. So I always remember, and I'm always thankful for whoever makes the tamales during Christmas time. That's what it was. That's where I wanted to get to. Okay, so these are my hydrated tamal husks, and tamales have two sides, not tamales. The corn husks have a smoother side than the other, okay? And you can tell, and you can touch the tip as well. So this is the smoother side, and the other side you can feel the rim, okay? Corn husk. So always do your tamal filling on the non-rib side, okay? On the smooth side. And what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna show you a couple of ways to fold your tamales. Okay. Okay, so here's our fluffy, delicious masa. I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup of masa. And I'm just gonna spread. And also tamales dulces tend to be smaller than the regular tamales. So this is one way of folding it, okay? So I do in the middle, not too much over here, not too much at the bottom. You're gonna fold them just like this, and you're gonna fold the bottom, okay? So este es un tamalito dulce, just like that. And it's one way of folding them. I'll show you. Or you can do, and this is our soft side, or you can do more in the center, about 3 tablespoons, which is about 1/4 cup, like that. Fold them like this, and we're gonna tie. So I have these guys, and we're gonna tie them up like little presents, como dulces. Just like this. That. And on this side as well. Y son como un dulcecito. Just like that. Make sure they're nice and tight. So you have this, you have your folded version, and then I'll do another one that you just tie the top. A larger. So you'll be here for a while making your tamalitos dulces. Everybody's gonna be happy you made. Tie them like this. Fold them at the bottom. And then I'm going to add más para acá. So I would make it more on top like this. And you can fold them. You can fold them at the top like this. Unos costalitos. Like this. You have 3 ways of making your tamalitos dulces, okay? Whatever is easiest for you. And these guys, you can also fill them up with a little bit of cream cheese at the center if you like. You can also do fresh blackberries as well on the inside. I honestly love to garnish my tamales. That's like my thing. Especially if they're dessert tamales, I love to garnish them with fresh berries, a little bit of that jam, y poquita lechera. So that's why I didn't fill them up. I like to garnish them, okay? So you will continue to make tamalitos, and since they're small, you'll get about 2 dozen tamales, maybe even more, depending on the size of the corn husk that you bought and how big you want them, okay? Some people like to make them bigger, so you can, para que te llenes más rápido con un tamal, instead of having little tamalitos, or so you can end la producción más rápido. So it's up to you, but I'm going to show you how they turn out. And I'm going to show you. So in here, I already have some going. Show you. What you would do when you have steam going and you hear your water boiling a bit. And you're gonna place all your tamalitos in here, and you're gonna cover them, like I mentioned, with the corn husk, on a bed of corn husk. With your tamales, then cover them with more corn husk and that wet rag. Okay, that wet rag is super important. It is necessary to keep that steam all together and create more steam because it's wet. Okay. Can you pass me that? Oh, I'll put it right there. Nice. And you're gonna cook it for about 2 hours, okay? And I always leave a tester tamal. So whatever way you wrap them, I always leave one that's easy to unfold, and that's gonna be your tester tamal. And how to know when your tamales are ready? When they peel off from the corn husk. But after 2 hours, check them, check your tamales, and if they do not stick your corn husk and they're nice and fluffy and spongy, you're good to go. I'm gonna open this little tamalito. Smells really good. Look at that, you guys. Vean este tamalito, nice and spongy. I'll show you how it looks. Okay. You can see the color. This is what I'm talking about. It's a very natural, and we can say rustic look, okay? But remember, you made that jam. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some of that extra blackberry jam that we have. Es un postre, así que let's garnish. Add extra blackberry. I'm gonna add some of some extra blackberries. Just like that. And my lechera, and I like to also buy this one. It's really easy to garnish. Vean esto, muchachos. Tamalito de moras, de zarzamora. Dessert tamales, you guys. And we are honest, well, we have to try it before we move on to our piquetes. Look, and I'll show you. They're nice and fluffy. That's what you want. You're looking for that sponginess. Mm. They're really good. They're really different. And I'm gonna have to keep eating a little bit. And Northgate got your back with that prepared masa. You only need to know that you need 3 pounds of masa. This with cafecito de la olla, Christmas morning or afternoon or after your dinner. It's delicious, you guys. Se los recomiendo. So good and fresh. And you made the jam. And you made everything except the masa, but don't tell anybody because Northgate has the best masa for tamales. Anyways, so there we go. Any questions on tamales? No questions.
No, but they look so delicious.
Sí, están muy buenos, no por nada. We're moving on to our, let me break this set down and we'll move on to our Rompope. Okay. I'm gonna continue that jam and they'll be ready by the end of our class. So, jam out of the way. No. You can come in. Okay, let me get these tamalitos out of the way. Okay. So let's get all of that stuff over here. Okay. Do I take everything away? Yes. So moving on to our piquete. Moving on to our piquete. So this is a Rompope Martini. I'm just gonna grab some ice for my Martini shaker. Okay, so what we'll be needing is, and this makes for 2 martinis, okay? You need a Martini shaker with some ice in it. You need licor 43, which is a vanilla herb liqueur. You need Rompope Coronado. You need Tito's vodka. You need 2 ounces of each, okay? And you need a pinch of cinnamon and a pinch of nutmeg that I already have going on here. Here I have about 5 to 8 galletas Maria that I pulverized or made crumbs. And I have cajeta when we're gonna moisten the rim of our martini glasses with cajeta and some galletas, okay? So in here, we'll start with our rompope. Rompope is one of my favorite things. I love rompope. So this one does, there's some that I believe, like eggnog, that there's some with liquor and there's some with not without liquor. This one is coronado, is licor, and it's really good. So this is about 2 ounces, 1.5 ounces. So I'm gonna do 1.5, 2.
Your camera person is going to be so happy right now.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna make myself a virgin one with some eggnog that I found also at Northgate. Just some eggnog with cinnamon and nutmeg. A pasteurized one that I found. Because se me antojó mucho este traguito. And 2 ounces of vodka.
And she's probably saying, I don't have to share this time.
Exactly. Un popote se lo van a tomar así. Con los tamales. This was a dessert, holiday dessert class, guys.
Yes.
Rompope coronado.
My sister-in-law is like, I already want to make it.
You can also triple the recipe, make like a pitcher as well. I just wanted to serve it on those martini glasses, but honestly, you can make it whole in that. And we're gonna shake. And it smells so good. It smells like vanilla. And you know your martinis are ready when your hand is freezing and your martini shaker becomes frosty on the outside, like this. And since it's been so cold in Southern California, you don't need too much of that. It smells so good, you guys. Okay. And we're gonna moisten the rim with cajeta. This is a dessert cocktail. With that, and then we're gonna place it in our galletas Maria. Oh, and I got a big piece in here. But look at that. That's what you want. That's what you're looking for. Nice and desserty. Get that. And it's going to go perfectly well with our vanilla flavors from our rompope. And there's also flavor from rompope, I believe, like cajeta. I believe Coronado has a cappuccino one that would also go really well with this. But I wanted to stick to the original. So look at that, you guys. Sí, es un postre, so it's definitely a dessert cocktail. Serve it up. Just like that. So that cinnamon and that nutmeg. These are my big martini glasses, by the way. Those 2 cocktails, and then I'm missing my cinnamon, but I'm gonna add cinnamon sticks to this. Can you pass me the cinnamon sticks? Just like that. Bueno, flotando. So super easy. Si no quieres hacer tamales, tú puedes hacer los cocktails. Vas a quedar muy bien. Your guests are gonna appreciate it. Look at that, you guys. Rompope martini. You can also, like I mentioned, you can also do a virgin version, una versión sin licor if you buy eggnog without without liquor, and you can also just add that pinch of cinnamon, pinch of nutmeg, and you can also garnish your glass just like this. But I'm gonna pass it to the camera lady,
Salud.
and she's gonna let us know what she thinks.
Oh.
I'll just cheers with this one. I've tried this before, which is totally fine. Salud.
You left her speechless.
She was speechless. She didn't know what to say, which is always a good thing.
Delicious.
Pues salud, felices fiestas. This was
You know-
a holiday dessert class. We'll be posting the recipe soon. Any questions, let us know. And I'm also teaching a Tuesday class, lomo relleno.
Yes.
Salsa de ciruela, which is really, really good. It has a little twist to the traditional lomo relleno. And I'm also making another cocktail, a spiced cranberry sangria, which you can serve hot or you can serve iced, como ponche o como cocktail, iced cocktail. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be posting more info on that class. And any question about tamales, you can always reach out to me. And thank you for joining.
Thank you, Isabella. Thank you for an
Thank you,
awesome class. Nos
Thank
vemos
you.
next week. Bye.
Bye, you guys.